Yan, I'm a singer, eternal voice. Oh my gosh. Milo. Milo galore. Wow. O, diba? Okay, guys. Ani kita karon, char. Okay, I have a short examination. Kung makita nyo sa board, I have a lot of questions here in the board. Okay, there are, 11 questions. Okay, get ready to all, BS Chemistry students and BS Chemical Engineering students, BS Biology students now watching my live streaming, or to those who are um, very, very willing to learn about some biochemistry. It's biochemistry, right? As you can see. Oh my gosh. Wait for a while. Maklaro dili. Maklaro siya, di ba? Okay. Too much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay? So, minum sa kong Milo to activate my brain cells. Sharp. Ganon. O, diba? So, question number 1. What is an essential fatty acid? Give examples. Wow. Kloka. Okay, so I have a blank sheet of paper here. I cannot erase that writings in the whiteboard because, there's a lot until 11 questions, right? So I just have to answer in a blank sheet of paper. Wow. Okay. What is an essential fatty acid? Give example. Okay, our answer for number 1 is just listen and you can take down that in your notes. Okay. So essential fatty acids are those fatty acids that cannot be biosynthesized inside our body and could be taken only through our diet by food we eat, by multivitamins, food supplements, and whatever. Okay, like that. So meaning to say, it's not really the biochemical reactions inside our body. Okay, meaning to say, the organs, our body internal organs are not doing something to produce this kind of fatty acid. Those are essential fatty acids. Okay, now if you click to note the reverse wording, it should be biosynthesized inside our body, right? Like that. Okay, so muna siya natabo. So parehas na siya atong amino acids and essential amino acids and non-essential amino acids. Okay, the same story. Okay, so muna siya answer. So muna ko illustrate. I still have question number 2. Explain unsaturated fats. Charots. Okay. Saturated fats are those fatty acids with a long chain of carbon hydrogen atoms without double band and, oh my gosh, that's right, single band. Okay, that is saturated fats. And by the way, saturated fats can be attached to a glycerol, okay, and it can produce triglycerides. Okay, the main fat body constituent is something like that, okay? So that is saturated fats. Okay, let me explain something that this is also related to the total cholesterol, something like that. So basically, we have low density lipoprotein, the high density lipoprotein, and the triglycerides, something like that. Okay, now, so if we try to break down the saturated fats, it will be composed of LDL, HDL, okay, B, C, and GC. Ganun siya guys, if you try to study any engineering courses or any medical science courses like that related to medicine, if you try to understand easier and do a lot of acronyms during your memorization. Okay? Like that. Because these types of courses are a little bit of 70% up memorization. Really. Medical science, medicines, and particularly not so with other engineering, okay, but particularly BS Chemical Engineering, BS Chemistry, BS Biology. This type of courses are full of memorization, okay? So, for example, if you have the books, you buy that like that, and then you have to study in advance in the introduction, in the overview, something like that, because most of the times these science subjects starts with theories, principles, concepts before going to the problem solving, something like that. Okay, especially the theories and concepts, and whatever types of examinations in the future, or let us say specifically in our part, engineering have board examination administered by Philippine Regulation Commission. Okay, so those type of exams have always theory and concept questions mixed in the problem solving something. In fact, there are more theories and concepts questions compared to problem solvings. Okay, except for I think the general engineering, because a lot of math there, mathematics there. Okay, for example, differential calculus, integral calculus, okay, integral calculus, okay, advanced engineering mathematics, algebra, analytical geometry. Sorry. Okay, solid mensuration, gano'n. Okay, algebra, ano pa ba? Trigonometry, probability and statistics. Okay, like that. So a lot of mathematics there, the general engineering coverage in the examination of any type of engineering courses, because those will be common to all engineering graduates before or prior to take up the board examination. Apart from there, it could be added also as far as I remember, the practical electricity, the engineering mechanics, and the strength of materials. The basics of civil engineering are also part of general engineering, but I don't think so with other engineering courses, but particularly in basic chemical engineering, those minor civil engineering subjects, specifically engineering mechanics, okay, and strength of the materials are being incorporated in the general engineering coverage examination and the board examination, engineering board examination. But I don't think so if sa Talan, but for us, it's very, very sure. Okay? Like that. So those first coverage is devoted more on problem solvings and mathematics. Okay, but for the major part, in our part in chemical engineering and physical and chemical sciences, not really that all problem solving. You have to be mixed. It has to be mixed with principles, concepts, and theories. And based on my experience, it's 70%. Okay, and only 30% up will be the problem solving. Okay, so means say you are studying too much in the theories and principles and concepts, even though not all the time problem solving, because as long as you know a little bit of understanding of problem solving, then you can equalize your scores. Okay, what I mean is, even though you are not good in solving problems, then it could be, pulled up by your theories and concepts scores, especially if you get it correctly. Okay? So if you are not really that good in problem solving, so ato na lang pamawi dito. Okay? It's gonna be like that. Anyhow, there are also problem solvings that is not difficult. Easy to solve also, plus theories and concepts. So it's gonna be pasok niyo siya sa banga. Okay? For example, in our part in the third day of examination, chemical engineering, there are at least 20 to 30 problem solving, and the rest will be theories, something like that, and a lot of difficult in the problem solving. Okay, and then it's impossible also that all difficult you cannot solve. At least you can solve at least 5 to 10 out of 30, and then plus theories and concepts and questions that you get it correctly, then bingo, pasok sa bangat. Okay? 70% up. Okay, ganun siya. Okay. So you should be balanced because as I can remember, my mentor in BS Chemical Engineering Department at Cebu Institute of Technology, Engineer Anis Akamalan, he told us chemical engineers are most balanced person because all the time you need to balance the chemical reactions and the chemical equations before solving any problems. Especially a lot of balances, energy balances, component balances, overall material balances, okay, chemical reaction balance. So all balance, chuba. Gikan begin siya sa first year until fifth year college, we will be dealing with balancing of chuba. Okay, amounts, quantities, energies, whatever. Okay, so in that alone, you should learn the concept. Okay, ganon. So we should be a balanced person. Okay? Ganon. Ibog na akong Milo, guys. Muna siya ang essential fatty acids. Later na tayo give examples because I cannot illustrate the structural formula and the orientation of how to do the structuring of the elemental components of this particular organic compound. Okay, going back to question number 2. Saturated fats, okay. LDL, BC. BC means bad cholesterol, okay. And GC means good cholesterol, high density lipoprotein, okay. So this LDL plus HDL plus triglycerides are the total cholesterol, okay. But the bad cholesterol is the dangerous one, okay. It should not be above 100 milligrams per deciliter. So we need to have a good level of high density lipoprotein above 40 milligrams per deciliter. So there's no problem, okay, if we have a high density lipoprotein. The problem only is the low density lipoprotein or the bad cholesterol. Okay, so what is the function of the HDL in our bloodstream? Anybody? I was asked a question to explain Unsaturated Fat, but I also asked you guys another question. What's this? Savage! Nakakaloka. Savage daw. Right? So, ganun siya. The purpose of HDL will act as a scavenger. You know the definition of scavenger? Meaning, try to destroy, to fight, to remove, or to reduce, or to eliminate, or to discard, or what else? Eradicate, or diba? Or try to abandon, try to reject, try to stop, try to kill. A lot of synonymous terms name it all. Or try to defeat, try to kill, try to phase out, okay, try to wash out, try to wipe out. Like a lot of terminologies in English that will apply for that term alone of scavenger. Noun, scavenging is a verb. Okay, something like that. So this BC, bad cholesterol or density lipoprotein, will be scavenged, will be removed, okay, by the bloodstream. So what will dominate now is the HDL, is the good cholesterol. Why? Because this bad cholesterol, guys, will form a plaque, PLQUE, a solid thick deposit in our bloodstream, okay, going to the veins, to the artery, and it will clog your artery and become hardened. So now your heart cannot function very well and cannot pump the oxygen or the blood, whatever, or the nutrients, the vitamins, like that. So problem. So increasing the risk of coronary disease or the cardiovascular disease, specifically arteriosclerosis. But before osteoporosis, guys, this already a disease, a critical disease, a chronic disease, something like that. You will feel also a little bit of pain in your heart, you cannot breathe properly, and then after that, you'll be able to suffer heart attack or myocardial infarction. Okay, so you will increase your HDL. So how can we do this? Again, over and over again. Eat plenty of citrus fruits and vegetables that contains antioxidants, polyphenols, and the other one, secondary metabolites, primary and secondary metabolites. So these are antiviral and killer, okay, for those infectious diseases, and this also can reduce the LDL and blood cholesterol level in your body, something like that. Okay? So these are saturated fats. Now guys, so if saturated fats composed of LDL and HDL, now the HDL will also increase a little bit, and also your LDL will also increase. So, lisod kayo siya. Okay, we both increasing by each other. So, what will matter now is your food intake and drink intake because their function will be dependent on each other. Okay? Like that. So, ato na siya matter sa exercise, eating the right kind of food, nutritious food, vitamins, minerals, minerals. Also, I don't have to explain further, right? Kaya mabalik-balik kayo siya, guys. Okay? Like that. So, wala siya ang saturated fats. Okay? So, it's good to have the saturated fats. Why? Anybody? Okay. So, wala siya ang atong hindi ko ano yung fats. Guys, because fats are precursors to give us energy. Energy, okay? To make us strong, active. So, that is also the main function of the fats. Okay, and also it can provide us insulation, okay, heating process inside our internal body system, diba? And to protect the body organs inside our body. So this will act as a fuel, okay, fuel to heat other microorganisms, specifically the good bacteria, and then along with the important essential biological chemical substances, ganun siya. What else? Mo-transport po siya of fat-soluble vitamins. Diba? When you take multivitamins, food supplements, so the fats will really transport this fat-soluble vitamins. Okay, because there are also vitamins that are soluble in fats. Okay, though it is not all but less, but this is the function, okay, of the fat, saturated fat. You get the point? Now we need this also in our body. Okay? Because what is bad really is the overconsumption, overdosage beyond 200 milligrams per deciliter for total cholesterol. Okay? So by the way guys, when you say cholesterol, it's basically the components there are fats already. There's no question about that. Okay? No doubt about it. Oh my gosh, diba? Okay. And it's question number 2. Mutaas din siya akong mga explanations. Wow. Sarap. Murag essay questions, right? Because I need to, I need to think, to think comprehensively the entire, understanding. Not only, the same with the books or any references like Number 3, explain unsaturated fats. Okay? By the way, number 2, we will also give example later, right? Okay. Number 3, explain unsaturated fats. Okay, ganon. So, guys, saturation meaning to say it has no double band. If the double band will reduce to a single band, now it will develop unsaturation, something like that. So the more it will be unsaturated, the more it will have the double band. Okay? Did I say that correctly? Okay, again. Memory recall. Memory recall. Flashback. Flashback memory, okay? So it will become unsaturated Okay, the more it will increases the banding, sorry. Double band, triple band, gano'n siya. Okay, from single band, double band, triple band. Muna siya unsaturated ha. Yeah, guys, unsaturated fats, guys, needs enzymes and coenzymes to activate the biosynthesis. Okay, meaning a combination, reaction of all the biological and chemicals exist in our body to produce another important and essential macromolecules or substances needed for our, good health immune system, something like that. Okay? So muna siya. For example, guys, if we have, say tago example para we can understand further, right? Okay, the most common example for this is the, stearic acid. Stearic acid. Stearic acid is fat or fatty acid found in butter. butter. Batter, right? Something like that. So, wala siya. So, ang stearic mo biosynthesize siya into oleic acid. And after that also, but there is an enzyme for that. It's gonna be alpha, alpha 9, something alpha 9 desaturation. Ano ka talaga yung chemical engineering? Di ba? So, kung di mo gusto mag-memorize, ay na lang pag-take of chemical engineering. Okay? Because a lot of memorization. Okay? So, kung makaya lang, so, nandun yun sa tuhon ang libro. Okay? Memorize the significant contents, technical information in the book so that hindi siya kalusot during board examination. Okay? But sad to say, we cannot do that. Okay? But we'll try to do that if we are taking up BS Chemical Engineering. Okay? It's gonna be like that. Okay, so unsaturated fats, meaning to say double band are present with it. A monounsaturated, one double band, and polyunsaturated, two double bands. Okay, and above. Okay? So, muna siya, guys. What makukulit ako kay kuan? I don't have a big white board so that I can write everything. It's not enough really this small whiteboard, guys. So too much accumulation in my brain cells. I cannot share some, chuba chuchu inside my brain cells. Really, there's still a lot to be explained, but I cannot do that because limited space, the dimension of this whiteboard is very small. Oh my gosh. Okay, then it's also very tiresome or very tiring to write always in the blank sheet of paper. That's why I buy this, whiteboard. Okay? Napatapot yun kayo siya, no? Okay? Like that for vlogging purposes and live streaming purposes. Okay? Because if you are already a YouTube content creator and then you are a social media influencer, it is already the love, the passion, and the dedication, the commitment to develop a content day by day, right? And then not only sharing of technical information so that others also can learn a little bit, okay? But also you need to increase your revenues, something like that, okay? Or else it's gonna be like no substance at all, not worth it. Okay, because there's a lot of avenue to share, right? Not only for vlogging, live streaming, like you can also share through posting in FB comments, in YouTube commenting, Instagram like that, or in what else? Any social media platforms will do. Okay, Twitter you can also post there. Okay, but bunog na mugod kayo ni siya or whether majority don't like science really because it needs too much steering and steering of the brain cells. Okay, compared to politics, sports, humor, watching movies alone. You're just watching. Okay, your eyes are only fun if you end of watching, but your brain cells will not, be sharpened. Really. Okay, your eyes are entertained, but it does not develop your, mental alertness. Okay? To remember things. Okay? So if you do vlogging, live stream, especially like this, not scripted, something like that, or not outlined. On the spot talaga siya. Okay, so it will help you to sharpen your brain cells to think. Okay, just like this. I don't have the plan to vlog, and then suddenly I vlog because I have nothing to do, something like that. Okay, so it's just like a very enjoyable moment. Charot! Okay, naman. So, unsaturated fats, guys, relation to LDL and HDL. Ganun. Okay. Ano sa mga siya, guys? Okay. When your good cholesterol will increase, okay, your bad cholesterol will decrease. So it's good, right? Unsaturated. Bad cholesterol is a dangerous thing. So bad cholesterol will decrease, meaning your cholesterol level also will decrease, right? So meaning to say that cholesterol really is dependent to the bad cholesterol or the low density lipoprotein. Okay? Ganun siya. Ganun siya ka. Okay mo na siya ang saturated fats. Okay? Like that, guys. And you think of trans fats number 4. Explain what is a trans fats. My gosh. I hate drugs. My gosh. Okay, trans fats. Saan man siya? DFA, Department of Food Authority all over the world, regulated the level of trans fatty acids or trans fats in different food, drinks, and pharmaceutical products because this can trigger chronic diseases, okay, particularly cancer in our cancer cells, something like that. Okay, that's why if you try to verify the products, drinks, bottled drinks, or whatever, you can notice in the nutritional facts that the trans fats will be equal to 0. Okay, because if it is not equal to 0, the industries and the companies will have a penalties for you guys, and pardon, your business will be closed. Okay? Because it is international and worldwide regulation all over the world. Not only limited to Asia, Europe, Middle East, something like that. If you are really curious to see the nutritional facts, because not all are curious for that, to those diet person who will try to do that, but others who are not dieting or don't have diet, they will never check the nutritional facts of the products they bought in the market, of course. Okay, but it depends also on the type of person, huh? Because we don't have the same perspectives. Okay, you get the point. Okay, and others also will watch the content. 450 milligrams with respect to the price so that I can save something like that. And then others also will try to see the vitamins, the minerals, and the nutrients they can obtain upon eating those products and drinks that we bought in the market. Okay, so it depends on the perspective of the individuals, really, not on something like that. Okay, but if you're really concerned with your health, then you have to do that. Okay, but if you don't concern with your health, then you don't have to do that. Just wait for the symptoms to come. Nakakaloka, tama ba? Of course, normally if there's no symptoms, most of the people will not act. Okay? But if the symptoms will come, that's the time they will act. Normally, I think 80% out. Okay? So that's why it's always having the quote, QUOTE, prevention is better than cure. Okay, how can we do that? So we need to consider that health is wealth. And how can we say that health is wealth? Then we need to research, study, and be informed of health science, medical science with the corresponding preventions like that to treat or whatever things that you'll be able to do in order that diseases will not come to you in the future, something like that. Okay? So proactive approach, not reactive approach, something like that. Okay? So it's gonna be like this, the trans fats. Okay guys, the trans fats guys composed of 2. The C structural, okay, formulation and the trans. Okay? Like that. Trans fats, cis and trans siya. Magtagal na siyang trans because cis and trans. But the cis guys are good. Okay, but the trans formulation is bad. But they named it as a trans because majority of the formulation will be coming from trans, not only few in cis. You know, the arrangement, okay, the arrangement and the structural orientation of hydrogen and carbon banded to this fat backbone. You know, fat backbone, okay? So, fatty acids or fats cannot exist without the backbone, meaning that the solid backbone, so that these fats will function normally and regularly inside the biosynthesis and physiological reactions inside our body, something like that. So normally the backbone will be really this glycerol, really glycerol or phosphate group. I will explain later. You know, guys, you cannot finish this for only one day if you try to be strict. Okay, that's why the study of medical science and health science, or if you want to become a scientist, really, it will take a long years because if you have to himay everything, it will be not enough, really, guys. Okay, to vlog 2 hours, 3 hours, of course. If you really want to become comprehensive and detailed with all the technical information, not all, with some of the major technical information regarding to science. Just like this, I cannot explain the others. Diba? Ganon. Okay. Muna siya may tabo. Okay? And then, sa trans fats, guys, ito siya, guys, no, may tabo. Okay? Mo increase ang inyong bad cholesterol. Okay? Mo increase ang bad cholesterol. Mo taas ang imong bad cholesterol. Mo decrease ang both of them mo saka. Okay? Oh, okay. Akong usbon. Okay? Muna siya trans fats. Mo taas ang imong bad cholesterol. And then, mo gamay ang imong HDL. Kaya hindi good man siya. Okay? Ganun siya. Muna ang trans fats, gibawal.
Our input mode. The radio mode.
Charge.
The Bluetooth device is ready to pair.
Muna gibawal gina siya, guys, ha? Na. Paso lang na itong puan. Unahan para maka-solve ta in fairness. O, diba? Kasi may time mo akong timeman kasi maagtan ka sa kuwan. Siyam-siyam. Char! Siyam-siyam. Maagtan ka siyam-siyam sa akin lang. Char! Okay. Number 5, differentiate between a biosynthesis and the diet supplement. Okay. I already explained that a while ago, right? Biosynthesis, it can be produced inside our internal body system through the biochemical reactions by having the enzyme to activate to produce another products or another substances that are helpful to synthesize another molecules also in order for us to activate our energy because our energy will depend on the substances, really. Okay? Substances meaning chemicals, biological substances, nutrients, vitamins, minerals, salts, acids, alcohols, like that. Okay? Alcohol is very important, guys. Okay? Our natural level of alcohol in our body is very important. Okay? So, of course, that's why, guys, if you drink alcohol also too much, it's directly proportional, you will become fat. Because triglycerides, the raw material is also a glycerol. Glycerol is an alcohol derived by this whiskey, beer, like that, and a whole lot more. And then plus the fats you eat, it will be linked together to produce a triglycerides. As I said earlier, triglycerides are the most large body constituents of your fats, and you will come. So usually, if you are drunkard or palahubo ka, mudako umutiyan, umutambo ka. Okay, because of triglycerides is the product of an alcohol sugar. That's called sugar alcohol. Okay? Like that. And then plus the fatty acids or the fats that you obtain from those fatty substances. Mga oily, mga ganun, mga red meat or whatever, so chuchu. Okay, ganon. Okay? So, kung naay mo kanikan, daot kay nga pala hubog, it's just because there's another, syndrome. Syndrome gitawagan or disorder sa iyang health. Could it be he's also fond of smoking? Okay? And aside from being alcoholic, he is also smoke, like this, other vices. But what I'm trying to say, if no other vices, normally you will become fat. If you are love to drink too much alcoholic content, okay? Aside from eating also high carbs. Okay? High carbs. High carbohydrates level. Okay, ganon. So, muna siyang biosynthesis ha. Synthesis meaning a combination, reaction, okay? Pulling together or reacting together or combining together the molecules. So this is synthesis. And the molecules we refer here are bio and chemical molecules. So biochemical reactions, and then the process will be biosynthesis. Okay? Like that. Okay, then the diet is very easy. So this diet is coming from the food we eat, the drinks we eat, something like that. Or any alcohol, fluids, acids that we intake. So it's part of our diet. So these are, essential. Okay? That's the difference between an essential fatty acids and biosynthesized fatty acid. Okay, if I will say, what is hydrochloric acid? It is an essential fatty acid or not? Hydrochloric acid. So what comes in your mind first? Oh my gosh. Okay, so you will think a little bit. Okay, categorically, you will never answer because hydrochloric acid is inorganic compound. Okay, when you mean guys fatty acids or fats, it's automatically specifically an organic compound. Okay? You will never say sulfuric acid is an organic acid because it is not an organic compound, technically. So, by the question alone, you don't have to answer that question because the question is technically incorrect. Mga ganun siya. This is to measure your brain cells if the question is not feasible, the question is illogical, something like that. You don't have to answer. Okay, something like that also in the questions, right? That's why some choices in the board examination have letter E, okay, none of the above. Something like that. Okay, mo na siya libo-libo na anak. Okay? Okay. Now, go muna ka sa 5. Charot. Okay. What are the 4 main functions of cholesterol? Okay. Cholesterol. Ako sa swatch. Grabe naman yung pagka-pronounce. Swatch. Over. Ang kaloka. Diba? Hello! Okay. The formula of cholesterol, so we will start with the general formula. So we have 27 atoms of carbon, 46 atoms of hydrogen and oxygen. So CHO lang din na siya ha, ang cholesterol. So if we have OL at the end, it belongs to an alcohol family, but sometimes it will not act as an alcohol in function, but belongs only to the OL family. Okay? Because most of alcohols will act, of course, normally it's an alcohol, but this cholesterol is another thing. Okay? Just like with phenol, ends with OL, right? Phenol. And this cholesterol ends also with OL. So what comes in our brain says, is that a type of alcohol? Something like that. Okay? Because the common ending of alcohol is OL in the end. For example, ethanol, methanol, propanol, okay, ganon. Glycerol is an alcohol obtained from alcoholic substances, ha? And then you can an alcohol obtained, an alcohol bear Okay, ganon, mga whiskey, mga ganon po, hindi pa siya glycerol. Ha? Okay, like that. OL gap na siya. But this one is a special case for cholesterol. Okay, so of all the OL family, the cholesterol has the highest molecular weight. Same as metallic element in the universe, which is the, I think, based on my memorization, uranium. Okay, uranium is the heaviest metallic element in the planet Earth. Correct me if I am wrong. Okay, uranium. Okay, so the same this also, but it's not an element, it's not a metallic element, it is an organic compound. Cholesterol has the highest, or OL family only have, it's a kanan. Okay, sa OL ang family siya. 27 atoms, 47 atoms of carbon, 46 atoms of hydrogen, and oxygen. So, this is general formula. If I will break down the Fisher projection, okay, Fisher projection structural formula, muna siya guys. Okay? Ganon. Okay. In order you can share information regarding this type of, vlogging and streaming about biochemistry, you need to be, have a solid background in general chemistry lectures and also organic chemistry lectures. Okay? Because if you don't have enough and adequate knowledge of organic chemistry and chemistry lectures, butang na to, bumanga ka somewhere along in the formulation. Okay? This is very important also because most of the medicines, pharmaceutical products, okay, are composed of organic compounds. And sometimes we need to understand. We need food supplements, vitamins, or any medicines. We need to look at the label. Okay? If you are trained to do that, that would be better rather than not. Okay? Okay, ganun siya. Yung mga paracetamol. Paracetamol is not an alcohol family, ha? Okay, it's only a trade name. Applicable to all. Something like that. Paracetamol. Ba, OL din siya sa huli. Okay, ba? Sige mo nga na, Sotero, OL family din na siya, alcohol family din na siya. Nagkataon lang na OL sa tamukuan ang tumoy. O, di ba? Oh, muna siya yung tabo. So this is our cholesterol structural formula. Ganon. Okay. Ganon siya. Ganon, chuba-chuchu. Okay, ganon. Okay, ganon. Okay, nasa yung mga idri-ari. Okay, tadarat. Ganon. O, diba? Oh, ganon. Okay. So guys, ang kanang mga corner nga kaninis kaayo sa polygon or sa kanisang mga isa tawag niya Z, kanang murag linis or V, muna siya automatic carbon, ha? But in organic chemistry, you don't have to put carbon. That is understood. That it is a carbon atom. Okay, ganon. So, dito sa yung tunga, we have the H3C, meaning 3 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of carbon. At the same time also, we have here, oh my gosh, really? Yes. Okay. Sometimes you need to break down this to like this, okay? No problem. Okay, this is ganon siya. Okay, tadarat, o ganon. Okay, diri siya. Ganon. Okay, sa tanimis ang tumoy. Okay, so this is also H3C. O ganon, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To look a hexagon, okay, which symbolizes the benzene, though it is not actually really the benzene. We will call that in chemical engineering as the benzene ring. Okay, like that. And then this is the pentagon. Here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 sides. Okay, pentagon like this. Again, at the center, 3 atoms of hydrogen, 1 atom of carbon. Then after that, we have also H3C here, and then H3C here, and then CH3. Now, this is the formula of cholesterol now. Okay, and then we have OH here. Okay, somewhere along the way. Ganon. And it's gonna be double band, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Double band. because carbon atoms have four valence in the outermost shell. Okay, like that, to be bonded with any elements such as hydrogen, nitrogen, whatever chupa-chucho. Okay, ganun siya. So, OH, ganon, double band here. O, cholesterol, ano siya. Ito po. Okay? So, mono siya. So, we can say pala guys that cholesterol is partly soluble in water and partly insoluble also in water. Okay? So, partly soluble in water and partly also insoluble in water because there's an OH here in the corner and the other corner will be the fat. So, the fat is not soluble to water. Okay? Not soluble to water. So, meaning hydrophobic. And then this area here is soluble to water, hydrophilic. Okay, so the hydrophilic substances are more on ano siya, polarity. The polarity will increase. For example, just like water has a very high polarity and a highly conductive to electricity. The more the substances will become polar at a high polarity value, the more the substances will conduct electricity or higher thermal conductivity, something like that. And then it will normally react and combine to water substance. Okay? And then if it is a hydrophobic, it has less reaction or affinity to water, so that would not react. So normally, the cholesterol will just stay for a while inside your bloodstream. Okay? Because normally it will not flush out from your excretory system. Okay? So that's why we need to take care. The level must be in the normal range. Okay? There's an issue for that. Okay? So we need to troubleshoot. Okay, ganon. So, ano siya? There's very ari. Okay, so polarity here and non-polar here. So, non-polar, basically non-ionic also. Okay, because wala kayo siya mga negative and positive na mag-reaction ito. So, dili siya neutralization reaction. Charot! Okay, ano siya non-ionic siya. Non-ionic, okay, substances, meaning most of them are non-polar. Okay? So kasagaran nila sila mo undergo a neutralization reaction. Okay, the reaction of acid and a base to produce salt and water. Okay, this is neutralization reaction. Okay, ganun. So muna siya ang cholesterol. Okay? So nakabawa na ito. So bungkabulin mo siya. Kani mga kuan para mo dissolve or ma-digest, mo break down inside sa atong lawas, and then it will flow to the bloodstream in the veins healthy and normally. And then in that way, you can increase your blood flow circulation. And then, your heart will become healthy. Oh, ganon. Plus, you will eat a lot of omega-3 fatty acids, or shall we say, omega-9 fatty acid, but omega-3 is more healthier than omega-9. Those are polyunsaturated fats or essential unsaturated fatty acids. Normally, in medical science or health science or shall we say in chemical engineering, we don't want to put the essential in the wordings technically, but it's just the same. Meaning of, essential fatty acids, meaning to say unsaturated fatty acids, because most of the unsaturated fatty acids are essential. No need to always incorporate the term essential. Because technically, if it is an unsaturated fats or unsaturated fatty acids, whether it is a monounsaturated or polyunsaturated fats, then bingo, it is an essential fatty acid or essential fat. Okay? So the fatty acid would mean to fat in organic chemistry. Unlike inorganic chemistry. Okay? Wala yung mga yung anang atsuba-chucho sa inorganic. Acid din na siya. But in organic chemistry, if we mean fat or fats, that would mean fatty acids. Okay? So, makalibog siya gamay because what we understand about acid is really an acid. Okay? But in organic chemistry, a fat is also an acid. That's why we call it as a fatty acids or fat alone. categorically the same. Do not be confused by the terminologies. For example, if the doctor will say, oh, you have a very high, saturated fats, meaning to say, you have a very high saturated fatty acid. Ganon. Okay. So, what are the main functions na, uy, grabe ko katabitaan, wala pa sa sakuan sa akong time range. Wow. Ganon. So, arin ka sa function sa cholesterol, assuming na bigay sa nga, ang atong cholesterol level will be less than 200 milligrams per deciliter. Now, if you have a problem on the, computation or conversion from milligrams per deciliter to millimoles per deciliter, just go have the conversion out of that milli, ang sama ng milli, o 10 to the negative 3, ganon. So, do a conversion and you can get the value in terms of millimoles per deciliter. Because usahay mga guys, sometimes, there's no unit mentioned by the doctor. You will say, you have a cholesterol level of 5, 6. Oh, really? What's that unit less? So if you're an engineer, normally you will ask, unit less? Why there's no unit? But if you're, if you're not taking up engineering courses or you are not an engineer, normally you will never ask that back to the doctor, right? Because you are not concerned with the units anymore. Okay, because it's understood. But if you are an engineer, a scientist, or a science course-related professionals, of course, normally you will ask the doctor, Doc, what is the unit for that? Because they refer to the standard unit for that already, which is understood. Okay? That's like the blood pressure. Understood that the unit is millimeters mercury, not the bar, not the torr, not the PSI. Okay, not the atmosphere. Okay, like that. So it is mmHg. So no need to mention 120 mmHg over 80 mmHg ang akong blood pressure. It's understood. Okay, but in this term, a little bit not common naman siya, di ba? Cholesterol, bilirubin, creatinine, yung gano'n siya, chupa-chucho. Uric acid, bilit naman ka siya as in sobrang common. Okay, so you will say, Doc, it is a unit less or not? Okay, so that you will convert the milligrams per deciliter to millimoles per deciliter so that you will know the leveling of your cholesterol content inside your body. Something like that, diba? Para makontrol mo ang mga intake sa food and drinks that are rich in cholesterol level or formulation. Diba? So, what are the four main functions of cholesterol? The first main function of cholesterol, i-remember lang siya, let's actually pala memorize, timanin na lang din siya para mapilit sa inyong brain cells. Okay, usahay, if you memorize a lot without understanding, it will never retain to your brain cells for how many months, how many years, it will just fade out. Okay, because you are simply memorizing without understanding. Now, if you understand it carefully, something before memorization, then you can stock that in your brain cells. That's why it becomes stock knowledge. Okay, for example, four main functions of cholesterol. Ganon. Number one, sama itong tibanan, it is the main component of your cell membrane. Okay, main component of your cell membrane. Okay, cell membrane. So this is really the most healthier function of the cholesterol, assuming at a normal range below 200 milligrams per deciliter. I mean the total cholesterol. Okay, like that. So main component cell membrane, and then this will lead to the flexibility, fluidity, wow, and the rigidity of our cells. O diba? When I'm talking to fluidity, okay, because this cell membrane and the cell wall will try to accept or reject those substances if it is acceptable by the system. If it is not acceptable, then it will go back, bounce back. If it is acceptable, they need it and it will go there inside the cells. So it will be regulated, okay, by the cholesterol itself. You got the point? Muna siya. Okay, main component of the cell membrane because it improves the rigidity, the fluidity, ganun siya, and the flexibility of our cells in our different organs inside our body. Okay, ganon. Okay, what's number two? Okay, the number two, very important number two, guys, really. Okay, number two is for the absorption and conversion of this cholesterol to be converted to vitamin D. Wala. First time now. Okay, so the cholesterol will convert to vitamin D. Wow. O, diba? So if you try to think also, we need also enough and adequate level of cholesterol because it is a requirement that our body will convert that to vitamin D in order for the healthier function of our bones and skeletal systems in our body. Okay, the vitamin D together with calcium. And how can we do that for faster conversion of cholesterol to vitamin D? Ganon. How can we do that? So without buying food supplement that rich in vitamin D, of course. Okay? Aside from that, we need to expose to the heat of the sun. Okay? So actually, when we say, diba, we always heard that to anybody else all over the world, that, we should expose ourselves in the direct heat of the sun at 7:30 in the morning, something like that, so that we can gain a lot of vitamin D. But before that, it starts with cholesterol. The cholesterol will be converted to vitamin D in the presence of the light energy coming from the sun. Okay? It is not direct vitamin D, that magic vitamin D. No, it's not. It's coming from cholesterol as our raw material to be decomposed, break down, produce, creating, converting that to vitamin D. Okay, klaro siya ha? Okay. So if the question in the future examination will say, what is the raw material of vitamin D when you exposed to the heat of the sun? A, choices, protein, B, nucleic acid, C, ganon, sodium hydroxide, D, cholesterol. Your answer will be cholesterol. Okay? So, hindi din siya guys kung naatay theories. Theories, concepts, principles, if you try to take up science-related courses. Okay? Could it be medical course or, whatever. Okay? Pasok yun siya sa banga. Okay. Number three. Okay? Number three, sama dyan yung function. Charot. Okay? The cholesterol, guys, is responsible for producing a bile in our gallbladder. Wow. So, bile. Okay? So, it could be a bile acids, or shall we say, a bile fluids, or shall we say, in general, a digestive fluid. Because this is very useful in our gut, GUT, small and large intestine, for the digestion of foods. Okay, and for the digestion of fats. Before going to the intestine, it will coming from the gallbladder, right? And it will be stuck there before going. If you can see our anatomy inside our body, the intestine is in the bottom part. There's still the liver, the pancreas, and the gallbladder before the intestine, right? Before going there, the gallbladder will store it, the bile. And cholesterol is a raw material also to convert that to bile. Well, very important, right? If we don't have cholesterol, also we will die. Okay? Number four, bile, producing of bile, or manufacturing of bile, or creating a bile, or generating a bile. A lot of terms will do. Okay? Number four, precursor. Precursor to produce sex hormones. Nakakaloka. For reproductive system. Okay? To increase productivity. Okay? Ganun siya. Sexual reproduction. So cholesterol is very important for that. Okay? For the female sex hormone, estrogen. Okay? For the male sex hormone is the testosterone. So it will increase your level of testosterone. That is the sperm cell or the semen. And then for the girls, estrogen. So cholesterol is the raw material for that production. Okay, so that's the main function of the cholesterol. Okay, so if the questions in the future will say, give at least 4 functions of cholesterol. So these are your answers. Okay, without choices, without filling the blanks, because there are a lot of types of examinations in the future, not only multiple choice. Okay, sometimes also essay. Ganon. Okay, manata sa main functions of cholesterol, anin kalimtiha. Okay, ganon. From the formula, from the structural formula, from the function, ganon. Okay, so number 7. Oh my gosh. Function of lipoprotein. Naratali sa lipoprotein. Hala guys, saan na lipoprotein sa Sotero? Engineer Sotero, what is lipoprotein? Okay. Okay, lipoprotein, scrutinize and evaluate the terminology first. Okay, we have lipoprotein. Lipo stand from the word lipid. And what do you understand about lipid? Okay, and then we have the protein. So lipoprotein, combination of 2 words into 1 word. Okay, something like that. So lipoprotein, so we have liposuction. What is being removed is the fat. Okay, inside our body, in our system, something like that. So, lipoprotein. So we have, again, walang katapusang discussion of, never-ending discussion of HDL and LDL. Okay, ganon. Okay, so here, the L here would mean lipoprotein. Okay, lipoprotein. Nakakaloka. Okay. That's why our cholesterol increases also, because if we eat a lot of protein, because it is a combination of lipid and protein. Okay? So that's why we need also to regulate our protein intake, but that is also not really, what do you call this one? Logical to think of, right? Because, oh my gosh, we need protein for our energy. Okay, to activate our cells, whatever. We can do anything. We can dance, we can sing, we can write, we can encode in our daily tool work in the plant, in factories, in the school. We can teach, we can educate, we can sing, we can dance, we can cook, we can wash our clothes and everything, chupa-chuchu. Ganon. So, ganun siya. So, di ba? Oh. So, protein. What is the general formula of protein? Okay? Ganon siya guys, ako dyan may yun, so we can understand. Okay. Uwi na si Orasa, okay, grabe sa kaya kumakala. Tuki unjol. Okay. So protein. Ganon. Wow. RCHNH2. Wow, nakakaloka. COOH. Okay. Though guys, it's not easy to memorize, right? Because see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. All you have to do is to do that as a habit or a culture, and it will become an attitude. Okay? Habit plus culture is equal to attitude. Habit meaning you do it regularly, and that will serve as your culture, your system in day-to-day life. It will become your attitude already in the future. Okay? So when you do studying, and if you want to learn something, and if you want to gain knowledge, you do have this culture and habit. Okay, like just for example, me, I love to sing like that. I love to sing, and God gave me a little talent in singing. Since I have a little talent in singing, I have to, utilize that in a way of sharing to social media. It will be live, kakanta ako, whatever. And then to further enhance my talent is to watch singing entertainment, singing competitions, and then I need to know also the different techniques in singing, okay, the different, for example, technical aspects, the styles, like that, or the head voice, the growls, the diaphragm voice, the chest voice, the vocal improvisation, mga vocal styles, okay, different techniques in hitting high notes, how to modulate your voice, start with a low note, average note, high note, then explode. Ganon. So you have really the techniques how to do that because you have already the talent in singing. Just like memorization also like that. Okay? Again, habit plus culture is equal an attitude. Okay, so you have now an attitude to do that every time, then bingo, you will learn a lot. Okay, something like that. Okay, it's just like this. So, meaning we need to, what is this one? We need to develop. Okay, because there are others also who love singing, but they don't develop. Okay, they will just focus on one voice, meaning single voice. They don't know about what voice is that, when you need to do that, because your voice must be flexible. You must attain vocal flexibility and vocal versatility by applying the different methods. For example, staccato. What is the staccato technique in singing? Okay, like that. So you have to decelerate your voice, vocal dynamics. You have to accelerate your voice, or slow, fast, smooth, like that. And if it is necessary for you to be angry, because the content and lyrics of the song needs to be angry, so you have to apply growl like that, because the song needs to do that because in angry mood. Okay, but if the song also is very sad and emotional, you don't have to growl. It depends on the type of music you will be able to sing and the genre, whatever you try to sing. For example, if you try to sing rock music, then you have to shout because it's an important substance in rock music. Shouting is a part of it. Okay, and then if you need to belt out, then you need to belt out. Okay, and if you do have to relax, relax, slow down. Like it depends on the type of songs you'll be able to sing. But if na dito sa stage, for example, if you have your performance, then you have to be able to apply everything there na. Okay, na nobody teaches you to do that. Mutungaran na siyang kalit. Oh, that's why it called your singing instinct capability. Instinct meaning it's in you already. Nobody teaches you to do that. It will just come out somewhere along in your whole performance in a stage. Okay, you are not briefed how to do that. You are not taught how to do that. But when you sing there, everything will come. You have the emotion. You have a soft voice, slow, fast, belting, high notes, low notes, ganun mo. Dito na siya maglaro-laro sa actual performance. Okay? Mukalit ra ba? Okay? Okay. Naman kayo, you have the talent of singing. Okay? So you should develop it. Okay, ganun. Practice makes perfect. At the same time, also research and watch other singers also so that you can gain also techniques from other performers. In order for you also to, it's gonna be like that. And then you can improve. Oh, ganon. So you can have your own vocal versatility, vocal acrobats, vocal gymnastic. You can do operatic voice, falsetto, head tone, mixed voice, chest voice, diaphragm voice, head voice, like that. All kinds of sources of voices, you will apply that in your singing performance in the future. Okay? If God gave you the talent in singing, then develop it accordingly. Charot! Okay, going back to the protein. Muna siyang formal sa protein. Okay, alkyl group are carbon atom, hydrogen, amino group, NH2, and the carboxylic functional group, COOH, carbon, oxygen, and hydroxyl group. Ganon. Okay? So, dili na akong explain na guys, basic lang kayo na siya sa organic chemistry. Okay? So that's gonna be like that. So what is the function of lipoprotein, which is the LDL and the HDL? The main function is to transport the fats from places to places within the bloodstream. Wow, bongga. Okay, since we have the function of the fats to provide insulation, heating system in our body, to protect the organs of our body, and to to transport the soluble fat vitamins, whatever you chew. Okay, then the lipoprotein also will transport these fats from places to places in the bloodstream. So how important is that? Okay, like that. So that's the function of lipoprotein. The only thing is you don't have to have a high value above 200 milligrams per deciliter, and you should not have above 100 milligrams per deciliter of your low density lipoprotein, because low density lipoprotein is also a killer, a deadly substance, the same as the sucrose sugar, or the fortified glucose units into your glycogen. Wow, glycogen na di ka. Diba? Glycogen is is a storage house of your glucoses. Okay, glycogen. Mo ba na siya? Okay ba? Oh. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not a biologist. Okay? Like that. In fact, I'm not also a chemist. Okay? So that is the function of lipoprotein. Question number 8. Makakaloka. Sige pa, go dyan. Oh. Number 8. What's this? Di mo klaro kung dito eh. Okay. What is the function of high density lipoprotein, the good cholesterol? Okay, it acts as a scavenger. Okay, to remove or to kill or to destroy the bad cholesterol so that it will not go to your bloodstream, reducing, because it will develop the solid thick deposits, the plaque, PLEQE, and it will harden your artery. So if there's a clogging, just like a bowel, there's a clogged, then the water cannot, circulate well into the bowel, and problem, leakage, and there will be a spillage of water in your toilet. Something like that also. Okay? Imagine if that is the case, what will happen? So there's no good circulation of the water going up, going down, the same as in our bloodstream also. So very helpful this HDL. Okay? High density lipoprotein. Okay. Now if you want really to compute for the density, then compute density is supposed to mass over volume. O diba? Ganon. Okay. Question number 9. Okay. The bad cholesterol. What is the function of the bad cholesterol? Okay, transport fats from places to places, but it should be minimized and reduced. Okay, because total cholesterol really, nabi na siya bad cholesterol, always. But it should be lower talaga, as much as we could. Okay, like this. Okay, question number 10. 2 examples of polyunsaturated essential fatty acids with its original and specific functional name. Kaloka? Lisod lagi. 2 examples of polyunsaturated essential fatty acids with its original and specific functional name. Okay. So how can we do this? Polyunsaturated daw, guys. Okay, mag-start ta sa kuan. Salmon. Salmon is a kind of fish, right? Salmon, mackerel. Okay, ano spelling sa mackerel? Uy, sige lang, anak na. Mackerel, tuna, fish, right? Or aquatic, marine fishes, right? So, naman siya yung mga omega-3 fatty acids. Omega-3 fatty acids. Ganon-ganon siya, chuba-chucho. So if we say omega-3 fatty acids, automatically an essential fatty acid. These are a good example. Essential, okay, unsaturated, ganon, really, okay, fatty acid, okay, ganon. So it will become EUFA. UFA means essential unsaturated fatty acids. Ganon. So let's say we have, okay, oleic acid. Oleic acid. Shall we say linoleic acid? Charot. Okay, linoleic acid. And we should also have linolenic acid. Charot. Nakakaloka. Linolenic acid. Close na kayo siya, guys, no? Okay, muna siya. Guys, wala yung lakin, guys. Okay, if a question will say in the future, if you face examination in the future related to science, if the question will say, give examples of essential unsaturated fatty acids, your answers will be oleic acid, linoleic acid, and linolenic acid. Okay, there's no others. Others are mainly saturated na talaga siya. Saturated fats. Okay, tuloy rin yung i-answer ang higayuna. So, omega-3 fatty acids, it will belong to the linoleic or the linolenic. Okay? I doubt it does not belong to the olic. We can understand carefully if we try to draw the structural formula so that we can understand. But in here, we cannot simply judge automatically. Okay? Because the more the double bonds increases, the more the unsaturation will increase. Unsaturation, meaning to say, there's an enzyme needed for that. Enzyme niya guys is desaturate. Okay? Why desaturate? D means removal. Ang iyang remove the saturation. Right? It's coming from saturated fatty acids, it will become unsaturated fatty acids. So you have to remove the saturation. So desaturated or since that is an enzyme, so desaturate. Enzyme ends in ASE. Okay? For example, amylase. Okay, like that is the enzyme needed to produce an starch, right? Amylase, and then alam guys, I cannot mention anything. Diba? Di ba ako topic ng enzyme good? Basta na siya ESE. Okay? Ganon. O man siya. And then, sumukaon na kaog, salmon, mackerel, tuna, and fish to increase our omega-3 fatty acids for our good heart health, to prevent the risk of cardiovascular diseases and other coronary diseases, in combination of intake of the citrus fruits and vegetables, and also good routine physical exercises in whatever forms. Could it be in a gym? Could it be walking every day for at least 15 minutes in a very circular oval, very talaga, okay, or any means, okay, running, jogging, cycling, whatever, as long as you do the physical movement of your muscles and bones, okay, something like that, okay, mukhaong tag-salmon, mackerel, tuna, and fish to increase our omega-3 fatty acids. Okay, now, we go to the formulation, wow, so that we can understand. Kalota. Okay. So, gusto ko mo hisgot og palmitic acid. The palmitic acid, guys, I doubt that is saturated, actually double band. And then if you try also to have another acid, for example, propionic acid, malic acid, and other acids are very dangerous also, like uric acid, right? Dangerous siya. Okay, and mga ubang acids are not organic magud siya. So, mara gid siya kung ma-example dito ng mga higayuna. Really, kaning tulo. Oleic acid, okay, linoleic acid, and linolenic acid. We start with oleic acid. Nakakaloka. Okay, oleic acid. Okay. Saan mo yung oleic acid, guys? Okay. Oleic acids comes from fats and oils, ha? But take note, only one double bond, meaning mono unsaturated fatty acids. Mono lang din siya. Okay? It's also good, but if you try to compare with the linoleic is more better. Okay? So, ibig pang sabihin, guys, if we increase the unsaturation, it will increase the health benefits. Okay? Ganun siya. You get the point? Wala siya natabo. Okay, so oleic acid, ang formula naman niya, you can memorize that, or guys, sorry, you can memorize also, or you can only scan the Paris Chemical Engineers Handbook, okay, or any sources, but the problem is during examination in the future, especially board examination, you are not allowed to bring books, okay, but you should memorize na lang din talaga siya para pasok sa banga, right? Okay, especially if you will be taking up masteral courses. Okay, masters in chemistry with thesis. Ganon. Masters in chemistry without thesis. Masters of chemical engineering with thesis. Masters of chemical engineering without thesis. Or masters in chemistry, major in polymer chemistry. Wow. Ganon. Diba? But sad to say, I took up master's. I'm not finished, but my major is not that. It's master's in environmental science. It's very far. Okay? Like that. My gosh. I hate drugs. Okay. Oleic acid is carbon 18. Nakakaloka. Okay. 34 atoms of hydrogen. And oxygen is 2. Guys, madali na nyo memorize ang mga chuba chuchu, eklabush galore. Wow. Eklabush. Okay. Ang inyong ilang naman na nilagay na is 2 atoms of oxygen constant siya. Chuba chuchu. Okay? And then it would matter only to the carbon and the hydrogen. So this unsaturated fatty acid starts with the parent fatty acid, which is the stearic acid. Stearic. Okay? This is the saturated fatty acid. Nakakaloka. Diba? So see you later, guys. I need to charge. Bye-bye. God bless everybody. Let's do the second segment of live streaming. If you can comment down below in the comment section, then you can comment. You can subscribe my YT channel if you want to. And you can also click the notification bell for some newest updates of the singer and your voice. Bye-bye. God bless everybody. Then we stop here and then we come back also starting here. Okay, bye-bye. I have to use my other mobile phone in this case. Oh my gosh. Oh, nakakaloka. Diba? Oh. Diba, guys? Uy, makalingaw. Makalingaw ang health science.